Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzie. I go on Instagram and here on YouTube as this Mrs. Fisher _stitches, and this is a Flosstube channel, which means it's mostly about cross stitch. I'm afraid my dog's going to be running around a bit because he's quite grumpy because I've just taken a squeaky ball off him and he's trying to work out how to get it down off the window ledge. And the other one's asleep on the chair behind me because he was barking, so I let him up, but now I have to perch on the edge of my seat. We've just walked for 3 miles, so you would think that they have, being dachshunds with very short legs, you would think that they might want to just rest, but apparently not. How's your week been? Have you all got your cup of tea? I'm actually having squash today because, like I said, I've just been for a long walk and need to rehydrate because it was really warm and I was wearing all the layers. My week's been good. I've had some good news. I've got a new job, which I start in a couple of weeks. My current employer has been very kind and cut my notice period, the amount of notice you have to give, cut that in half so that I can start my new job early and start earning more money. And I'm going to go back to, that's the dog scrabbling on the sofa. Gibbs will fall off. Let me see if I can turn you around and you can see him. Or maybe not, it's quite messy over there. It's quite messy everywhere in this house. Yeah, new job, that's good. I'm going to be sort of organising the running of a clinic in health services, and it's full time, so I don't think I'll get any less cross stitch done because being unhappy with my current job, I've just come home in the afternoons gone, don't feel like doing anything. So I'm hopeful I'll still keep my stitch time up as long as I don't get too tired working full time instead of part time. Anything else happened last week? No, I think that's about it. Exciting wise, you don't need to know the ins and outs of which socks I wore each day. Although my socks are pretty fab. Maybe next week I'll bring a selection of fab socks to show you. Should we talk about stitching? I have finished something. Well, I started it and finished it. Now, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but if you do, you'll see that I follow D's 20 Stitches, and they are a trans designer and a trans person who designs cross stitch. They also have come up with Stitch for Pride 2023, which is a series of learning sessions for each month, and I'm underway with February's, which was about a trans woman, well, a trans man, way back, I want to say in the 20s, who was a pianist and singer and really rocked the world. I'm trying to remember her name. Bear with me, I shall look it up. So the artist in question was Gladys Bentley. She was a queer singer who was star of the Harlem Renaissance. And so part of Stitch for Pride is there is a learning section where you, which for this month was to watch a YouTube about Gladys Bentley and learn about what she did and what part she played in the movements. And then there are extended learning tasks, moment of action, day in history, and stitching prompt. And the idea is that you do your stitching prompt once you've done the knowledge or action prompt, so that we can be the best, so we can learn more and be activists, allies, accomplices. That's the word that Dee likes us to use. So I've started, and I'm looking through book lists at the moment about a black, queer or trans icon. So I'm looking through book lists for something to put on my Audible, so I can listen to it while I'm walking the dogs. I recently did download a book, but I can't remember what it's called. But yes, there we are. So I will get to that at some point. But Dee has also released, in the wake of the new video game, I don't really know much about it because I don't do video games, but in the wake, sorry, there's a reflection and it looks like an eye looking in through my sitting room window, and I was just checking it wasn't. It's not, it's fine. In the wake of a new video game that has been released, there has been much more out there about why about the author of the Harry Potter series and why we should try and limit how much money we give her, because she is openly against trans people and openly supports movements that limits their access to fundamental human rights that we as cis people have. So I can't do much. Obviously, I wouldn't buy the game because I don't play computer games. Something I have done though, and it's been something I've been thinking about for a few weeks, I've deleted all the Harry Potter audiobooks from my phone. Now, that doesn't sound like much because I'd already paid for them, so she'd already had that money. Well, I only bought them on Audible credits anyway, so she didn't get the full amount. But it means a lot for those that I'm supporting, because this is something I've listened to Harry Potter every night going to sleep for years, and for me to do that is a big step. And sometimes, I just get a bit nostalgic, or a bit, I did it about a week ago now, and I get a bit nostalgic and a bit, oh, I'm never going to hear that again. But you know what? I know people who are trans, and the thought of them not being able to access healthcare they need, or being able to go to the bathroom and feel comfortable, things like that are more important than me being happy listening to the first few lines of Harry Potter as I fall asleep, because that's all it really takes. So yeah, I've had a bit of trouble going to sleep since then, but I'll find something else that is just as soporific. Hey ho, what am I trying to say? Because I did say we'd talk about stitching. I'm probably doing a hash job of explaining why we shouldn't support her, and what would. Anyway, Dee designed a little piece. It's called Let's Make a Statement. I believe there's going to be a series of them, and I ran over to her Ko-fi link and purchased it, and I have stitched it, and I'll be stitching it again because my daughter has snapped this one up, having seen a picture of it for her room at university, and I believe that her friend would like one as well, so I'll stitch that. I'm seeing them. I'm going to fetch them both so they can come home for the weekend, and because they live, obviously my daughter lives with me and her friend lives close by too, so I'll fetch them both home, and I'll stitch it again. But this one's been snapped up for my daughter's room, and it is Make Statement 1. I can't remember what the actual name of it is called, but you can see what it says. Trans rights are worth more than boy wizards. And they totally are. And they're worth more than nostalgia, and they're worth more than feeling good about, I don't know, a story that if you look at bits of it, you can find in other stories. I was listening to Lord of the Rings. I was listening to something else I was listening to, and I thought, oh, Harry Potter-esque. So yeah, is it even a good story? I think it is a very good story, but like we say. So I'll be stitching this again, exactly the same. I've got some of this. This is the called for colours, pretty much. The blue isn't quite right, but it's because Hobbycraft didn't have it when I ran there to get the threads. I hope this is my screenshot for the video. Right, I don't know if you can hear our neighbour's dog barking. I'm really sorry. I don't think ours will because they're tired, but we'll see. So that was my start and finish of the week. Made a little cordy twisty thing, stitched it on, and that's going off to university to live on a wall. She got very excited and said, oh, that's lovely. Let's talk about some whips, some works in progresses. Modern Folk Embroidery, Reaching Skyward, Sal. I haven't, you'll see, stitched much. I feel like I need to go to a confessional. Forgive me for I have not stitched much. And I always knew this was going to have not very much of an edge, and that was fine because I was going to fold it over and fold it over again and just do a little machine stitch or something like there. However, I didn't realise this piece of fabric is really poorly cut. And as I was stitching, I thought, hang on a minute, I've got quite close to the edge here. It's not straight. Can you see that that's not straight? So I did a tacking stitch all the way down. Let's see if I can show you it. All the way down, and look how close it gets. If I get out of the way, you might see it better. If I hide. Look how close it gets to the edge of the fabric, and then it goes back out again. But so, question: do I risk it for a biscuit and just turn it over once on that line, like literally right up next to the stitching, and hand tack it or something? I don't know. Or, I mean, I've only done this much. I mean, that's a lot of stitches, but I have made a mistake in it. So I say, that's a lovely big piece of heirloom by Pole Stitches. I could use that for like two, maybe even 3 projects. Answers in the comments below, please. Shall I carry on, or shall I use the fabric for something else? I've got projects I could use the fabric for, and then just buy a bigger piece. I might even change the colours though if I start it again. Let me know what you think. So that only had a couple of hours stitching on it, if I'm honest, this week. What also only had a couple of hours stitching on it, whip-wise, was Birds from Bernhards books. Now, I believe I showed this last week. I can't really remember. I've got to keep an eye on the time, and I haven't got a watch on. Ugh. I think it'll be all right. Bear with me, I just need to go and find what time it is. Sorry, I've got a Teams meeting at 4:30 and I mustn't miss it. It's okay, it's 20 to 3 and I don't think even I can talk for that long. Haven't got enough progress, that's why. So, Birds from Bernhards books. I showed you this last week, I believe. I haven't finished it, obviously. But I have got the other bird in there for February. Doesn't that just look, let's see if I can get it centered. Obviously it needs ironing, obviously. Don't they look gorgeous? They really pop. The rest of it's going to be pink with a purple, the edging will be purple. But oh, I love them. Maybe I'll leave this out and work on it again. I love it. But I thought for February I'd get those birds done. I'm stitching that on Stitchy Ferret something or other from the Stitchy Ferret. It's the seconds and I'm not sure what it was, and I can't find the email. I said that last week. I'm using, at the moment I've used DMC 3350 and 727. The yellow 727 and this is 3350. I need to at least get that what's it called, handling, don't I? Maybe this evening. I'm not sure what we watch on Mondays. So, what else have I worked on whip-wise? I do have another new start, but I haven't finished that one. So, I've talked about Birds from Bernhards books, and I've talked about Reaching Skywards. I'm using these trackers by S-Ward Designs on Etsy. Can you see that you have all the project details at the top, and then you can circle which days you've worked on it, or highlight or whatever. So that's how I know what I've worked on. Sometimes I forget though and have to think, oh, when did I work on that? I know I worked on it. So these are my project bags. I've shown them before. They're from, the pattern is by Tiger Lily Designs, and I made them myself using her pattern and YouTube tutorial. The next piece I'm going to show you is a whip, and I've pretty much caught up, like you have to do it in any set time. I get quite grumpy about people who, you know, about stitch alongs being races or feeling like you're behind. So I haven't caught up. I've nearly finished the first part. I've finished it as much as I'm going to. So this is the first part of Caterpillar Cross Stitch British Isles Stitch Along, which is released monthly. So the next part will come on the 27th of February, which is the first day of my new job. That's exciting. Come home and start on that. So since you saw it last, I've stitched the fish and chips, the tower that's in York, the lobster, Blackpool Tower, I believe. There is the sort of edging of the, so I believe the edgings, I'm not even going to pretend I know what shape the British Isles are, because I just get laughed at in my DMs in Instagram. But there is an edging, that green, blue and green again, that goes all the way round, and but I'm going to do that probably all in one go at the end, because knowing me, I'll make so many mistakes that I'll need to fudge it quite a lot. So that's on 16 count Ada that came in the kit. It's a nice blue colour, and the threads come on these cards, and people rave about how good they are. And I feel really bad because I'm just one thread tangle at the moment. I'd much prefer where you pull them off the holes rather than unwinding them and rewinding them. I think I'm very much the minority on that. But fortunately this Project Keeper, you know, I literally just shove it all in and zip it up and close it up. Oops. And throw something on the floor, and there we are. I think I just dropped something. I need to pick it up. I dropped these, and I can't tell you what I've stitched on if I haven't got them, because my brain is frazzled from work this morning. So, in my owl project portfolio that I made, this one is the type with the pockets for the DMC bobbins, or for bobbins, not for DMC. You don't have to put DMC on them. I have, but you don't have to. And in here is something that I have worked on and something I haven't worked on. I will show you what I have worked on. So the next of my whips, and I set myself 2 goals last week, I think, or maybe even 3. Finish that bird for Bernhards books, get to the end of part 1 of British Isles Stitch Along, and this is a Snowdrop Cottage by Faye Walsh of Little Dove Designs, and my goal was to do this band here. Spring is sure to follow, and sure enough, see what I did? Spring is sure to follow. And I did make a mistake, but you can't see where it is, so I'm not going to tell you, because I made exactly the same mistake on the other side to make sure. Is it a mistake if you did it on purpose? I don't know. I love this. I love this piece. It's just so delightful to stitch. So my next band, and my goal for next week, let's say, I would like to, for next week, do this band and this one. I am going to alter it though, because this bit here makes my brain jar. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm thinking of bringing up one of these open crocuses and putting it upright in that gap if it fits. So I'll have to do some counting and some jiggery pokery. But yeah, I love it. Obviously I've adapted it. If you're a new watcher, I adapted the pattern. The picture has a chicken in it. Just yeah. I don't have chickens. I have dachshunds. So I put dachshunds in it and my cat in the window. She's very sharp, so she can stay in the window. She's old and cantankerous and sharp. Let me just pause you because I need to open some Velcro and that's going to be noisy. If I can press the button. And is it? So I'm just going to put behind me because I thought, I remember bringing something over. What was it? Don't need to show you yet. It's fine. So the next whip is the Uniqueness of Others, which is a fundraising pattern for Yasmin's Made with Love, and it's fundraising for MenCap as she is running the London Marathon to raise money for them. So it's a brilliantly worthwhile cause. I will link her YouTube account below and her Just Giving page, as I have done most videos because I've shown her patterns most videos. Let me just see. Oh, I've stopped mid-stitch. I haven't even finished this row of stitches. I've just put my needle to the back so you don't see the thread. Although I don't understand why that's such a problem, but some people apologise for showing the thread at the front. I suppose it takes away from the actual pattern, doesn't it? Here it is. Look at that. Just look. Isn't he magnificent? And he's not even coloured in properly yet. I love him. I wouldn't mind if this was my picture. He's adorable. So this is another stitch for February because I keep wanting to call him pheasant. He's not. Peacocks are birds. So there we go. Oh, I can start Ruskin's penguins because penguins are birds. Anyway, this is The Uniqueness of Others by Yasmin's Made with Love. It is stitched on 18 counts Vigart something that was donated to me. I'm stitching it using the called for DMC colours, which are phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's really lovely to stitch on, even though it's going to get a bit full coveragey because I'm doing it 2/2 on 18 count. It's going to get a bit tight, but the thickness of the 2/2 is so going to be worth it with the colours that are involved in this. I love him. I'm really enjoying everything I'm stitching on at the moment. Somebody asked me, Fiona, my friend Fiona, who I'm going to go and see tomorrow to stitch with for the afternoon, and I'm very excited because it's been over a month, I think, since we stitched together, asked me what my whip go goals were. And I said what they were, and I haven't even touched them yet, the pieces. So I'm not sure if I'm going to whip go this month at all. For those that are new and haven't heard what whip go is, it's like a way of, it was devised by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. There's a pigeon outside. Devised by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and the plan is that you put your whips, your works in progresses, in a bingo table, a 5x5 square, and give each one a number, and she calls 2 numbers a month, and then you work on them towards whatever goal you set yourself. I mean, you could have this. I have, in fact, on my whip go board, got the same project at least 3 times, maybe even 4. If you really want to, make some good progress, you can do that. However, my whip go pieces for February are still in their bags because I haven't even touched them. So I doubt I'll meet my goals with them because it's February the 13th. It's got half a month, haven't I? Tomorrow marks the middle of the month. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate it in this household. Every day is Valentine's Day when you live with my husband. It's not. Well, yeah, it is. We have a great time together. I'd much rather go stitching with my friend though tomorrow afternoon than spend the afternoon with him. What was I saying? Whip go goals. I don't think I'm going to get to them. Because I do things instead that I want to do. I was just saying that I really enjoy stitching on all my pieces, wasn't I? There we go, I'm back on track. Really enjoying everything I'm stitching on. I did another new start for February, which is this one. It's a kit by Anchor. My husband bought it for me. He didn't even recognise it. I said, oh, I'm stitching on this one. So that's nice. You gave it to me, did I? Anyway, it's called Birds and Seasons by Anchor. And I thought I'd be starting up here, but actually that's the autumn one. This is summer and this is spring. I need to ask my friend Fiona what these birds are called. That's a robin. That's either a blue tit or a great tit. Chaffinch? No. King? It's not a kingfisher. No, I don't know. And this I don't know either. But I do know it's pretty because that's the spring bird. So that's where I've started. And let's hold it the right way up. Where's that bit of cardboard gone? That's really useful for... This is going to be my piece of cardboard for YouTube's Flosstubes. This is where I'm at. So if I hold it up next to the pattern, gosh, you need like 7 hands to make Flosstube, because this piece of Ada that's come in the kit is literally the size of my house. It's so big, it's ginormous. Can you see? It's going to be really pretty. I'm biting my lip, I shouldn't be. Isn't that cool? I was really pleased to have started it. It's on a paper chart. I get on fine with paper charts. It's just a bit slower, isn't it, than using Pattern Keeper? I don't know why. Well, because you have to take the pen lid off, colour it in, put the pen lid back on again in case it leaks or whatever scary stuff could happen. Oh, let's have a little rest, shall we? I think I've shown you everything I've worked on. And then some things came in the post. So, today... no, not today. During the weekend. Bear with me, I just want to open something without making loads of noise. I'm back. So I showed you this last week that came during the week last week, and then at the weekend the threads came, the DMC threads. Oh, I'm just a bit worried I'm going to drop them all. Ooh. Can you see that? I can't because it's under all the bits on the phone, but I'm sure you can because you can't see the record button and whatnot, can you? So that's all the, well, most of the threads. I think I've obviously got the other colours because I didn't order them. I'm very grown up, you know. My husband laughed his head off when I told him the other day, I have a spreadsheet that tells me what colours I have on DMC and where they are, which project they're in or whether they're in the boxes. And he was super duper amazed because my little corner here is just chaos. And he's super impressed that there is actually some order in the chaos. Just realised you can see my hoodie just right there. It's not very tidy, but then this house isn't because I stitch way too much. Well, not as much as some, but I stitch way more than I tidy, if that makes sense. My stitchy time is more important to me than tidying. I'll hoover when it's needed, like really needed, not just you might think. I mean, you'd come into my house now potentially and think I need to hoover, but, and I do actually, but my hoover's in my car and my husband's not here to take it out, so, and I hurt my back putting it in, so I'm not going to take it out. Right, stop blathering about housework, girl. I received in the post today something I ordered. Oh, excuse me. Tired. Something I ordered from Kate Blanford. Can you see that? That's her card. Something I've seen her making. Oh no, I lost something. There it is. something I've seen in the making on her Instagram for a while, and I thought I want it, but at the time it was only a prototype, and then it came out on her shop. Look at this. It's my Valentine's present to myself. Can you see? It's a needle minder, so a magnet. It's got the battery on the back, the other magnet on the back, and this dagger, which is a threader. Isn't that just the best thing ever? Because I use threaders now, and I have one on this pair of scissors, but just like needle minders, you can never have too many, I don't think. So I love that. Look how shiny it is. I think she's going to make some more for her Etsy shop. I think she sold out fairly quickly. And I also got, I'm going to call it a scissor fob, but she calls it a scissor lock. Because you know how fabric scissors or cross-stitch scissors or whatever are the most important things in the world and will blunt if you use them on paper. The plan with this is you go through the handle of the scissors and then clasp it to itself, and then hopefully the person who tries to I think you need to clasp it. Anyway, it'll make the person think, why can't I open these scissors? Oh, because they're mum's and I'm not supposed to open these scissors. I like the idea. If I put them on my actual fabric scissors, which are much chunkier, that will definitely work. And I think I will, because I've seen people, not naming any names, but I've seen, where did these come from? I've seen family members touching. Oh, I'm sorry, I've been hit by a radar. Okay, so that was some shopping. And during the week, it must have been, because it wasn't at the weekend, I got sucked into a vacuum on Flosstubes of dimension kit pattern parades or kit parades. I can't even remember, I'm afraid, the people I watched, but there are people who have so many beautiful patterns or kits, and I have lots of kits upstairs, and at some point I will do a kit parade, but I don't have lots of dimensions kits. I have, well, 2 now, and a 3rd one on its way to me, because I went onto eBay. I've been good. I went to eBay. I didn't buy them full cost or anything because I believe they're uber expensive. So this is goldfinches and lilacs, and it arrived in the post today. It's sort of February. Well, it is totally February because they're goldfinches. Bullfinch. Do you think that's a bullfinch, Fiona? Is that a word? Is that a bird? Is that a bullfinch? Anyhow, these are, sorry, these are goldfinches and lilacs, and they're beautiful, and I love lilacs. They just remind me of my mum's house in the summer. And it's only little. Shall we have a look? It's been opened as you sort of expect on Etsy. It didn't say it was new. It said it was opened to check the contents were there. And I'm like, well, let's have a look at what's inside it. I literally haven't opened it since it arrived. Ooh. So there's the front cover. Contains pre-sorted thread, so it's it's from 2015. Pre-sorted thread, quite tangled, but all there. And I will check that it's all there because it tells you. Can you see? It tells you. Let's see. It tells you how many strands of each one you're to expect. That's the size of the Ada, so it's not going to be a big stitch. Let's see if there's a pattern. Yes, there's a pattern, which obviously I can't show you. Oh, I was getting a bit worried then because, like, there's this side, there's this side. Oh, what if there's just, yeah, but no. There's a pattern. Cross stitch, half cross stitch, back stitches and French knots. Oh, that's all doable, isn't it? And a needle. So it is the whole kit. It's just a bit messed up. Let's check it doesn't smell bad. Nope, it smells fine. It smells new. So I might start that before next week. It's still February. What other kits have I got that have got birds in? I've got some bothy kits, they've got birds in. Sorry, the dogs are kicking me. Or the dog that I'm sat in front of is kicking me. I'm thinking what I've got on the go that's got birds in. But I might just start all the bird things. The trouble with starting everything is you don't finish anything and then you haven't got anything finished to go on the wall. I think I'm a process stitcher though more than a product stitcher. Whilst it's lovely to be able to put things on the wall, I do just like having the variety to pick from. Anyhow, I think that's it. There's nothing more on my stall there to show you. I've got a meeting in a minute or three about potential university prospects from September, which is exciting. My job is exciting. It's maternity cover. It's going to be really busy, which is good because my job at the moment is very quiet and I don't like it. Although it wasn't today. I started work at 7. I'm proper tired now. Got up at 5. I need to get used to getting up at 5 so I can walk the dogs before I go to work, as opposed to walking them when I get home from work because I work part-time. I won't be able to when I don't work part-time. I think I might go and make a coffee before I have my Teams meeting with this lovely lady, so that I don't just ramble at her like I am rambling at you. If you've made it this far, well done everybody. Have a lovely week, and I will make another video next week, and no doubt I will have 0 finishes, although I'm hoping to stitch another of these beauties for my daughter's friend. That only took an afternoon. It was a quick stitch really, for me, quick stitch, because I don't stitch quick. Yeah, so to talk about plans, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do another row of the Snowdrop cottage. I am going to aim to colour in more of my peacock because I love him. I'm going to finish that bird, at least that bird, on the anchor project. And let's say I'm going to make a start on this because they are beautiful. These are goldfinches. Could that be a chaffinch? Or a bullfinch? Bullfrog? No, it's a frog. Oh, I don't know. On my anchor project. Guys, I'm incredibly tired. I'm going to yawn again. Gosh. Oh, and tomorrow I'm going to see my stitch friend Fiona, but I've told you that, haven't I? That's very exciting. So I might work on something simple so I can talk and stitch. Oh, that could be colouring in more of Mr. Peacock. I'm going to go. I am the world's worst person for leaving. I'm like, if I'm at your house, I'll say I need to go, and about 6 hours later you will get rid of me. And you'll be like, oh, thank God she's gone. I think my current employers are. I'm so glad she's going because she just nags all the time about not having enough work to do. If you're paying me to work, I want to work. Not sit around. But now I'm at home, I'm going to sit around with a cup of coffee and upload this. And yeah, 39 minutes. I really ought to go. Bye everybody, have a lovely week.